Congress finally hit the snooze button on the nation's longest government shutdown, but only until January 30th of 2026. Democrat Governor Moore blasted the deal because the bill omitted funding for Obamacare health care subsidies, saying this is exactly why people hate Washington. While Maryland's lone Republican Congressman, Andy Harris, continued to say the Democrats caused the shutdown in the first place. Cary, after 43 days, Congress votes to reopen the government. Do Republicans win because they didn't cave to Democrats' demands on the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act?
No, the people lost. I don't care about the Republicans winning. The people lost. Hundreds of millions and millions of people are going to be seeing larger health care bills. Inflation is going to be even more rampant because bear in mind, health care is really the beginnings or the stimulus or the catalyst for inflation in general. Right now, if you want to have your air conditioner replaced, it's tripled in price in the past 5 years. Your roof, the average roof price is $17,000. Healthcare's gone up, food's gone up, milk's gone up. If we can't get it under control, the people have lost. And that's the problem here. The Republicans basically say, we can't afford it. Well, we can't afford not to deal with it. That's the reality.
Well, let's see what Stacey has to say about this. Stacey, I'm sure you have a rebuttal for that position. Did Republicans win, or did Democrats win, or did just the country lose in general?
I think that, there's a lot more to it than that, Casey, like who's the big winner, who's the big loser in this. It's very ephemeral because I think Americans have a tendency to forget very quickly. Millions of Americans, to Cary's point, they're about to get hit with higher healthcare costs on January 1st, and voters do not pause to analyze which committee dropped the ball and to ask which amendment failed on page 423 of a 1,000-page bill. They look at Washington and say, who is supposed to handle this? And with Republicans holding more control, they're the ones who will most likely get the blame, regardless of Democrat theater and political hijinks. I will say, I think that the reality is Obamacare sucks and it needs to be reformed. However, in the short term, it's absolutely fixable. I think that Congress could pass a 12-month subsidy extension and beef up state reinsurance programs that lower premiums, much like the 322 waiver that we have here in Maryland, and or move forward on badly needed bipartisan transparency that measures, finally lets families really see what they're paying for. So my answer here is that, Democrats, they might have won a short-term victory. Republicans might have looked like the villains in this, but I think that they can avoid a midterm fallout if they just get their act together on this. And otherwise, if they don't, voters will reform the Republican Party instead.
Well, I got to tell you, there should be a pox on both their houses. But the fact of the matter is that the Democratic Party under Joe Biden, when they were in control, passed the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, and they set them to expire this December 31st. It wasn't the Republicans who voted for that. It was the Democrats who voted. Cary, I know you're shaking your head, but they did that through the last bill that Joe Biden had passed. So they knew that this was coming. Now, whether or not they anticipated they would be in charge, who knows? But both houses have been playing games with this for the past 20 years since Obamacare was first created. The problem I have is, Cary, is by kicking the can down the road. Stacey offers a wonderful solution to a practical problem, but neither party plays in the same sandbox any longer. So are we going to be in a position 60 days from now of having another shutdown?
May I?
Yeah.
$37 trillion deficit. $2 trillion going to tax breaks for the wealthy when we should be building infrastructure. $1.1 trillion for military spending, but we can't afford to deal with healthcare in our country, but we're funding wars in Israel, in Ukraine. Give me a break. At this point in time in history, we need to address the problems that we have here in this country. And healthcare is the biggest one. The cost of healthcare is absolutely out of control, and it's trickled down to every other industry in our country. So the people are losing. If we don't
Cary,
get,
I don't disagree with you. If I can just jump in here really quickly, I don't disagree with you on a few of those points about the trickle down because you have to make healthcare a priority in your family. You must pay for it or the consequences are dire. So if you end up with bad healthcare, you know what can happen. However, this argument from the Democrats that the Republicans it's benefiting the rich Republicans. There are so many Democrat, no, hold on. There are so many Democrat elites in this country, multi-billionaire Democrats. So don't just hang that hat on the Republicans and
okay,
say,
I don't disagree with you.
Wait,
Yeah, I mean,
Gary,
all of the
you
elite.
got 30 seconds to finalize this. Then we got to go on to our next topic.
Bottom line, we've got to stop playing games here. We've got to work in a bipartisan manner, and we've got to get healthcare under control so that we can get inflation under control.
Amen.
That's it.
Well, here's my prediction. My prediction is come January 30th, we're going to be staring at another shutdown because the Democrats will be unhappy that the vote for the ACA subsidies will go against them, and they won't have all the budget bills passed, and they'll have to go to another continuing resolution, and we're going to be back in the same kettle of fish again.